From youngest West Indies Test player to USA cricket hero with $4 million. The comeback story nobody saw coming. A 19-year-old kid from Jamaica steps onto the field against the mighty Australians. The pressure is crushing. The entire Caribbean is watching. But Xavier Marshall doesn't shake. He doesn't tremble. He smashes the ball like he owns the ground. That day in January 2005, a superstar was born. Fast forward to 2025, and this same man has built a $4 million empire in America while revolutionizing cricket in a country that barely knew the sport existed. This is the incredible journey of Xavier Marshall, a story of glory, heartbreak, and the most stunning comeback in cricket history. Stick around because what he achieved in America will blow your mind. Let me take you back to March 27, 1986. A baby boy was born in the cricket-crazy island of Jamaica. His name was Xavier Melbourne Marshall. While other kids were playing video games, young Xavier was obsessed with one thing: cricket. He would wake up at 5 a.m. to practice his shots. He would skip meals to watch cricket matches. His family knew this wasn't just passion, this was destiny calling. By age 15, Xavier was destroying bowlers in local tournaments. Coaches were calling him the next Brian Lara. Scouts were fighting to sign him. Every cricket expert in Jamaica said the same thing. This boy is going straight to the top, and they were right. At just 18 years old, Xavier Marshall achieved what most cricketers only dream about. January 2005. The West Indies selectors made a bold decision. They picked this teenage sensation to face Australia in an one-day international. Not just any team, Australia was dominating world cricket at that time. They had legends like Ricky Ponting, Adam Gilchrist, and Brett Lee. But Xavier didn't care about reputations. He walked out to bat with the confidence of a warrior. His debut showed the world that Jamaica had produced another gem. The cricket world started buzzing. Commentators couldn't stop talking about his timing. Fans started buying jerseys with his name. Social media exploded with praise for this young talent. But Xavier was just getting started. 6 months later, in June 2005, he received the West Indies Youth Cricketer of the Year award. This wasn't some participation trophy. This was the Caribbean Cricket Board officially saying, "Xavier Marshall is our future." He was the chosen one, the heir to the legacy of legends like Viv Richards and Clive Lloyd. Newspapers ran full-page stories about him. Cricket magazines put his face on covers. Young boys in Jamaica started copying his batting style. Xavier had become a national hero before even turning 20 years old. Then came the ultimate test: Test cricket, the format that separates good players from great players. At 19 years old, Xavier Marshall made his Test debut for West Indies in Sri Lanka. Let me repeat that: 19 years old and playing Test cricket. Most teenagers at that age are worried about college exams. Xavier was representing an entire region on the world stage. He became one of the youngest West Indies players to ever wear the Test cap. The pressure was enormous. Sri Lanka's spinners were world-class. The heat was brutal. But Xavier stood tall. He showed grit. He showed determination. He proved he belonged at the highest level. Now here's where Xavier's story becomes legendary. In 2006, the Under-19 Cricket World Cup took place in Sri Lanka. Xavier was the star player for West Indies. Match after match, he destroyed bowling attacks. But his greatest moment came against South Africa. Picture this scene: West Indies versus South Africa, a must-win game. The opposition has future stars. The pressure is massive. Xavier walks to the crease. And what does he do? He scores a magnificent 106 runs from just 133 balls, a century in a World Cup knockout game. The entire stadium erupted. His teammates mobbed him. Cricket fans across the Caribbean went crazy. That one innings didn't just win a match. It announced Xavier Marshall as a future superstar. The numbers from that tournament are mind-blowing. Xavier played 11 youth ODI matches and scored 554 runs at an average of 50.36. His top score was that incredible 106. These statistics were spectacular. Cricket experts were comparing him to young Sachin Tendulkar. The West Indies Cricket Board started planning the team around him. Sponsors wanted to sign him. Everyone believed Xavier Marshall would play for West Indies for the next 15 years and score thousands of runs. Between 2005 and 2009, Xavier lived the dream. He played 7 test matches for West Indies. He played 24 one-day internationals. He also played 6 T20 internationals. He toured different countries. He faced the best bowlers in the world. He earned good money. He signed endorsement deals. He was living the life every cricketer wants. At just 23 years old, Xavier had already achieved more than most players achieve in their entire careers. He had played at the highest level. He had scored runs against top teams. He had represented his country on the biggest stages. But cricket is a cruel game. Sometimes talent isn't enough. Sometimes luck doesn't favor you. Between 2005 and 2009, Xavier struggled with consistency. He would score runs in one match and fail in the next 3. He would look brilliant in one series and struggle in another. The selectors started losing patience. They wanted bigger scores. They wanted more consistency. They wanted match-winning performances. Xavier tried everything. He changed his technique. He worked with different coaches. He practiced harder than ever. But the big breakthrough never came. By 2009, the unthinkable happened. The West Indies selectors dropped Xavier Marshall. No more international cricket, no more big stadiums, no more television cameras. Just like that, his international career was over. He was only 23 years old. Most cricketers are just starting their careers at that age. But for Xavier, it felt like the end. Imagine the pain. Imagine being called the next big thing and then being forgotten. Imagine having the world at your feet and then losing everything. This would destroy most people. The years between 2009 and 2013 were the darkest period of Xavier's life. He continued playing domestic cricket in Jamaica. He played for his regional team. He scored runs in local tournaments, but nobody cared anymore. The media stopped covering him. Fans forgot his name. Young players who used to idolize him now ignored him. Xavier would watch West Indies matches on television and feel the pain of not being there. He would see players with less talent getting opportunities while he sat at home. These were brutal, soul-crushing years. Many cricketers in Xavier's position would have quit. They would have become bitter and angry. They would have blamed everyone else. They would have given up on their dreams and settled for ordinary jobs. But Xavier Marshall was made of different material. Instead of crying about the past, he started planning for the future. He looked at his situation clearly. Playing domestic cricket in Jamaica wasn't going to revive his career. The West Indies selectors had moved on. He needed something radical. He needed to think differently. He needed to take a massive risk. In 2013, Xavier Marshall made the boldest decision of his life. He packed his bags and moved to the United States of America. Everyone thought he was crazy. His friends asked why he was going to a country where cricket was barely played. His family worried about his future. Cricket experts said he was throwing away his career, but Xavier had a vision that nobody else could see. He knew that cricket was slowly growing in America. He knew that USA was trying to build a competitive national team. Most importantly, he knew that starting fresh in a new country was better than slowly fading away in Jamaica. Landing in America was a massive culture shock. Xavier went from being a recognized cricketer in the Caribbean to being a complete nobody in America. Most Americans didn't even know what cricket was. He couldn't walk into a stadium and get recognized. He couldn't earn big money from cricket. He had to start from absolute zero. The first few years were incredibly tough. Xavier played in small local leagues where only a handful of people watched. He practiced on rough grounds that looked nothing like international stadiums. He earned very little money from cricket, but Xavier refused to quit. While playing cricket, he also started thinking about his financial future. He knew that cricket wouldn't last forever. He needed to build wealth. So he started coaching young American kids who wanted to learn cricket. He worked with cricket academies. He used his international experience to train players. He also started looking at smart investment opportunities. Xavier wasn't just surviving, he was planning to thrive. Then in 2018, everything changed. The USA Cricket Board selected Xavier Marshall for their squad in the regional Super 50 tournament. This was massive news. Xavier was getting another chance to play competitive cricket. He was representing a new country. He was getting a fresh start. In January 2019, Xavier officially began his journey with the United States cricket team. On April 24, 2019, Xavier scored his first century for the United States against Hong Kong. That century was special because it helped USA finish in the top 4 and gain one-day international status. Xavier wasn't just making a comeback. He was making history for American cricket. Xavier became the leading run scorer for the United States in that tournament, with 182 runs in 6 matches. He was destroying bowlers. He was winning matches. He was showing the world that Xavier Marshall still had magic in his bat. More importantly, he was inspiring a whole generation of American cricketers. Young kids in California, Texas, and New York started following cricket because of Xavier. He became the face of USA cricket. He proved that American cricket could compete with established nations. Playing for USA gave Xavier something more valuable than money or fame. It gave him purpose. He wasn't just playing for himself anymore. He was building cricket in a country full of potential. He was teaching young Americans about this beautiful sport. He was representing millions of cricket fans who had immigrated to America. Xavier found joy in cricket again. The passion that had died in Jamaica was burning bright in America. Now let's talk about the most fascinating part of Xavier Marshall's story, his $4 million fortune. How does a cricketer who never became a superstar build such massive wealth? The answer will surprise you. Xavier's wealth didn't come from one big source. It came from being incredibly smart with money and having multiple income streams. Let me break down exactly how Xavier built his fortune. First, his West Indies cricket earnings between 2005 and 2009. A West Indies player during that period earned approximately $3,000 to $5,000 per test match and $2,000 to $3,000 per one-day international. Xavier played 7 tests, 24 ODIs, and 6 T20 matches. From international cricket alone, he earned between $200,000 to $300,000. He also earned money from domestic cricket in Jamaica during those years, at endorsement deals and appearance fees, and his early cricket earnings probably reached around $400,000 to $500,000. Second, his earnings from domestic and regional cricket continued for many years. Xavier played in Caribbean regional tournaments. He played in American cricket leagues. While these didn't pay millions, they provided steady income. Over 15 years of playing domestic cricket, these earnings added up significantly. Third, and this is crucial, Xavier became a highly sought-after cricket coach in America. Coaches with international experience command premium rates. Xavier worked with cricket academies across America. He provided private coaching to wealthy families who wanted their kids to learn cricket. He conducted training camps during summers. A top cricket coach in America can earn $50,000 to $100,000 per year. Over a decade, this coaching income added hundreds of thousands to his wealth. Fourth, the game changer, real estate investments. This is probably where most of Xavier's $4 million fortune comes from. When Xavier moved to America in 2013, property prices in many cities were still recovering from the 2008 financial crisis. Smart investors who bought properties between 2013 and 2016 saw their investments double or triple in value. Xavier invested his cricket earnings wisely into real estate. He bought properties in growing American cities. Over the past decade, these properties have increased dramatically in value. Real estate appreciation alone probably accounts for $2 million to $3 million of his current net worth. Fifth, cricket business ventures in America. As cricket grows in the United States, business opportunities are exploding. Cricket equipment stores, cricket leagues, cricket coaching franchises. Xavier's name and experience give him access to all these opportunities. He likely has ownership stakes or partnerships in cricket-related businesses. These ventures generate passive income while also increasing in value. Sixth, his USA cricket earnings and match fees. While USA cricket doesn't pay as much as Indian or English cricket, it still provides decent income. Xavier earns from representing USA in international matches, from league cricket in America, and from various cricket-related appearances. The brilliant part of Xavier's wealth strategy is diversification. He doesn't depend on one income source. If cricket income stops tomorrow, he still has coaching income, rental income from properties, business income, and investment returns. This is exactly how wealthy people think. They build multiple income streams that work together. Xavier learned this lesson the hard way when his West Indies career ended suddenly. He made sure it would never happen again. Many athletes earn more than Xavier during their playing careers but end up broke after retirement. We've seen countless examples. Cricket stars who earned millions but lost everything to bad investments, expensive lifestyles, or poor financial planning. Xavier avoided every one of these traps. He lived below his means. He invested wisely. He thought long-term. He understood that a cricket career might last 10 years, but life goes on for 50 more years after that. With $4 million in the bank, Xavier Marshall can afford luxury. But here's what's interesting. He doesn't flaunt his wealth. Scroll through social media and you won't find Xavier posting about expensive cars or massive mansions. There are no photos of private jets or designer shopping sprees. This tells us something important about Xavier's character. He values privacy. He values peace. He understands that real wealth is about freedom, not showing off. Xavier probably drives quality vehicles, maybe a Mercedes-Benz or a BMW. Comfortable, reliable, safe cars that suit American roads and weather. Not flashy supercars that scream for attention. Not exotic vehicles that cost a fortune to maintain. Just solid, dependable cars that get him where he needs to go. Xavier Marshall walked away from potential West Indies glory and built something more meaningful. Financial security that will last his lifetime. A second chance at cricket that gave him purpose. And a legacy of pioneering cricket in America. That's not just a sports story. That's a masterclass in turning failure into fortune. Comment which achievement of Xavier's journey surprised you the most.